All right, and with that, we are ready to get this thing underway. Welcome, it's Friday Night Racing at the track, our first one of the year, and thank you so much for joining us, whether you're here in person, sitting around the track, of course, you're tuning in live on our YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us tonight. Friday Night Racing coming here, of course, every week through the late spring and summer months at the track, and this one, our very first, our preseason, about ready to get underway. Couple reminders, since this is our first night of racing in a while, if you are here spectating especially, we want to remind you of safety at the track, as that's a huge priority for us. Once racing is underway, nothing can come onto that race surface. That's that kind of gray colored cement that goes all around the big circle here. So please stick to one side of the track or the other. Check for loose articles. It's a little bit breezy here and there tonight. Anything that was passing out there onto the track surface could cause us to delay the race out of safety for you and for others. In between races, it is okay to cross. Please do so quickly and double check in both directions. Yes, they'll only come in one side for you, but you just want to be double sure when you're doing that. Tonight's racing, we're starting off with the Cat 4 men field. They're being brought up to the rail, and they're going to be asked to do a split scratch. I'll talk about the races every time the riders are out in their neutral lap, so everybody who doesn't know the rules can get a quick rundown on the basics. Our first field, Cat 4 men to the rail, split scratch. And the whistle signals the beginning of the neutral lap for the riders. Race starts if they're all together after they complete this one time around the track. We'll get another whistle somewhere around turn 4, and then the race is underway. You're going to get the same set of rules several times in a row. The split scratch is the race our groups are all going to race here to open up tonight. Split scratch race is essentially a points race split in two. So they're going to sprint twice tonight for points in this competition. The points go 5, 3, 2, and 1. 5 points to the first rider, 3 to the second, 2 to the third, and 1 to the fourth. Rider with the most points at the end of this event is the winner. They're going to get 2 chances, 1 in the middle and 1 at the end. On a normal points race, it's worth double points at the end. Not the case in the split scratch, but the final lap is a tie-breaking lap. So if riders have the same number of points, that last lap will serve to break any ties. So still very important to sprint well at the end of the race, more so than that middle sprint halfway through this one. And the sound of the whistle means racing is underway. Our first race of the night. Put your hands together. It's 2023 racing starting now. Welcome for joining us here. It's really a pleasure to have so many people on this first night. Great size fields. Lots of competitors excited to get started this year, and that's good to see. The field excited to get started. They've only got 12 laps, so a pretty quick race, and they know at 6 to go, the bell will have just rung, and they're going to pick up their first set of points. So the early going's pretty quick here. Our riders, of course, coming off of at least the track off-season. Many of our riders do compete in other types of disciplines throughout the off-season here at the Velodrome. Road had started up, of course, many months before, and so some of our riders are coming off of that season. Others, they're just coming out from their garage. They got their indoor efforts. They've got a few, just maybe a couple hours on the rollers, just to make sure they remember how to still do that. And here they are back to competing, and after one completed lap, our field sort of stretched out, coming back together again. Pretty good pace here early on in this one. Next field up will be the Cat 3 men, then we're going to have the Cat 1 2s, and then the Open women. That's right, we have 4 categories of competitors tonight, and they're all going to be doing this split scratch. So you'll get pretty used to the way this race looks once you've seen it a few times, but of course the fun of it is each one of these fields is going to approach it a little bit differently. It's West over there at the front for just a moment. Pulls up and out of the way. We got several riders of the local junior team, the black and the blue squad. You're going to see them a lot in this Cat 4 field this year, I'm sure. They're at the front of the group and rotating a couple riders. Still a couple laps out before points, so they're fairly neutral at the moment, just kind of keeping their pace, getting them used to each other again. One of those junior riders I was mentioning, that's Keegan Fairbanks that's on the front, giving way to a rider in blue. That's Kevin Ulrich. He's got some teammates out here in that blue jersey for Gene Johnson Cycling. He'll take the lead for a moment. Couple laps till they're going to hear the bell indicating the first sprint for points. Lots of racing coming up. The first big regular season weekend, don't forget riders, is May 26th and 27th. Registration now officially open. If you want to jump in and get in on the start lists, you can do that, of course, online at velodrome.org. That'll be the beginning of the regular season, May 26th and May 27th, where we bring out the food trucks, we bring out the beverage garden, we can bring out the full production. So hopefully you can join us for the fun on that day. They just saw 8 to go as we continue to have some rotation at the front, different riders taking their turns. Not any serious efforts to try to break this thing apart. Everybody's fresh enough here early on in the goings of this one that the fast pace of the front is just enough to kind of stretch it out a little bit, and then riders keep it close. Rounding out of corner 4, this will be their reminder that they're going for points. Their first effort coming up. There it is, the bell. It's 7 to go, and the attack coming from our riders in black and pink. Down the backstretch, we got 2 riders taking the lead off of the field. The first sprint here is going to be for 5, 3, 2, and 1. Their first of 2 opportunities. Side by side, coming through turns 3 and 4. A nice side-by-side effort here as they come down the home straight, but it looks like maybe Dyna Racing can hold on for the first 5, hitting the home stretch. Here comes our first sprint, and it will be our rider from Dyna Racing, 406 for the big points, 408 coming across second. It looks like the unofficial call. That's Trevor for 3, and Jamie Park for 5. There's Anton Ernishev of the Jerry Baker Juniors and Kevin Ulrich for Gene Johnson picked up the 2 and the 1 on that previous sprint. So your official race leader as of right now, Jamie Park, number 406. Right in the midst of these 3 riders that have made the break from the main field, sort of shattering this thing after the first effort. And our group of 3 looking pretty consistent now as they try to pull away from the rest of the group. They're going to take all the points on this last sprint except for maybe a sprint for 1 behind them. A couple laps here to go before we get that last effort. All right, so if you're fairly new around here and haven't heard of categories, just so that you're kind of into the lingo and the vocabulary, we do have a couple categories racing tonight. All that is riders when they win or place well in their current group. They start on these Cat 4s after they get their classes done and out of the beginning nights. They get enough successes, they get enough top places, they're going to earn upgrade points. They apply that to their license and say, I'm ready to go to the next category. And then they join that next group of riders. So the Cat 4 men here would be a combination of riders that have come out of the class recently, some of our junior riders that are here, some riders that are looking for some more victories this season and trying to earn a couple upgrade points on their way to a campaign to maybe hit a Cat 3 at some point this year. It's all part of the athletic progression here and sort of the motivation system that's built within the competition, besides, of course, the fun of the race itself. Been pulled apart quite a bit. Under the Stanley sign in turn 3 is where our leaders are right now. There's a group of 3 clocking along pretty good here as your race leader is in second wheel spot. The rider with 3 points right in front of him. In the home straight, here comes the final bell. It's 1 to go. 1 to go. That's Michael Westover looking for his first points, I should say. Now up here in the break. And he's got the race leader right on his wheel. Trevor looks like number 408, the rider in second overall, is the third wheel of those 3 riders. Everyone's getting the bell on this lap and will be finishing up here momentarily. It's Dyna Racing on the big attack, though, trying to hold on to this lead and pick up another 5. Jamie Park coming quickly out of the group. Here we go. It will be our rider in the black and pink picking up the next 5, and he'll take the win out of this first race. Trevor with a nice race picks up 3 more. Westover coming up to the front should find 2. And everybody else coming across the line. We are wrapping up. We'll exit on the back straight. Nice first race here tonight. Our juniors coming across the line as well. Good effort for our first crew. Just at the moment here before this race is finished up. Still some good sprinting here at the back end. Nice work. All right, everybody should be wrapped up and they'll be exiting on the back straight. Looks clear to me. Let's bring our next group forward. Cat 3 men are being called to the rail. Cat 3. And off we go for the neutral for the Cat 3 men in their split scratch. Lap cards show 14 to go. There'll be a sprint at halfway, the bell ringing at 8 to go, and again at 1 to go. Same way the points will work as you saw in that first race. We'll go 5, 3, 2, and 1 twice to find our winner. Racing here every week at the Velodrome through the summer months. We've got Friday night racing going on for the rest of this month, the kickoff on the 26th, and then we go into our regular season starting with that evening. If you want to learn more about our race programs and just kind of check out more about track racing, I got a website for you. It's called velodrome.org, home of everything, Marymore Velodrome Association. You can learn about our programs here, including our classes, our junior programs, and of course, all about the racing you're watching tonight. Our field all together in their neutral. Looks like they're on their way for the okay from our official team. The sound of the whistle means racing's underway. 14 to go. And it's Stan Douglas, Flow Cycling in the blue, launching the early attack. Great showing here tonight for the Cat 3s. That's a good size field on an opening night. That's good news for 2023 racing in this group of riders. Of course, we'll expect as more folks from maybe from school kind of gets out and a couple of our kids join us, the Cat 4s will grow too. You'll see more riders. But this is a great showing early in the season. Great to see some of our riders making their way out here on this very first night of our season. Stan Douglas makes the early attack. And back at the field, we're looking at some rotations at the front. It's a little bit of bunching in the middle, not a ton of energy to go pursue Stan Douglas just yet. So you'll notice there's riders kind of edging off the front and then quick rotations off the front as they're just taking short little pulls. Now we're starting to see a little bit more effort here at 12 to go. That's number 304 in the blue, Carson Hedrick, doing a little longer effort as he tries to bring the field up. $11 to go. Stan Douglas still off the front in the field, is looking around at each other, trying to say who's the next rider to go chase down. The lead rider, at least in position. No points yet, of course. Everybody's all tied up until that first sprint. That's Andrew Lynch trying to make the move to close the gap. Rider 301. And that looks like a pretty good turn of speed as he picks things up quickly on the home straight, and he closes this gap down pretty quickly as he passes the Stanley sign at pretty good speed. Hits corner for a good cadence, and now on the home straight, seeing 10 to go. And lots of track in front of him if he wants to keep going. Strong rider from last season. You can tell by the bib number, 301, ended in a good spot here in the Cat 3s, right at the top of it. So we know he was in good form at the end of last season and trying to open things back up again for himself here at the beginning of this season. A little bit of a gap here as he's opened up on the rest of the group, and similar to what we saw earlier, a little bit of hesitation from the field, a little bit of energy spent catching Douglas a moment ago. They'll rest and recoup just a moment. Every rider will be seeing 9 to go, so just a little bit of time still to go catch down that leader if someone wants to go get the 5 points. There's still a good competition behind the leader. It's a sprint for 3 right now of the field if nothing were to change. A lot of movement there towards the front of the group. There's a lot of rotation going on. You can kind of, one of the fun things to watch in this race, you always can see the field. You can see the movement in riders, how they move up and down. They find their lines. They find the wheel they want to be on. Lots of movement in these groups early on tonight. That bell's ringing for our first opportunity for points. 8 to go. It's still the rider from Gene Johnson, Andrew Lynch, taking the lead of the lap, our rider out of Sammamish. And the field now starting to get a little bit more sense of it. The push coming down the back straight now as a group of 4 or 5 have pushed themselves off of the field trying to catch Lynch before they get to the line. It looks like the catch will occur hitting corner 3. We've got a new leader off the front. It might be a complete overwhelm of the lead rider coming down the home straight. It's one of the juniors trying to pick up the first 5. 399 picking up the big first points. Luke Wilson of the Seattle Cycling Club, the big guy in second place there across the line. That's David Magidson, your early leader, unofficially picking up the first 5 points. Six to go. Your leader down in the sprinter's lane between the red and the black line, about 1 bike back, maybe 2 bikes back now, wearing the black and blue of the Jerry Baker Jr. squad. Your first winner in that first sprint. Race leader still in this one for sure. Most of the riders that had stretched this out have found themselves back together in this big field once again, sort of bunching themselves up on the back straight with a couple laps before the final bell. Race leader is watching the action near the front of the group right now, not making any jumps just yet. As riders sit about 3 lanes wide, it's a bit of a rest position. Good invitation for, looks like Z-Dog down the sprinter's lane at 3 to go. Will take the bait and start picking up the pace a bit. So 303 on the move. He brings the race leader right with him. So he's wanting to cover any sort of movement at the front of this field right now, not wanting to let anything get away from him. They're seeing the 2 to go. Next time around, the bell will be ringing for that final opportunity for points. 347 took a bit of a play off the front there, but comes right back in the group. It's Peter Snoblin wearing the colors of Aerotech Racing that was checking it out for a moment, falls back into line, and now the field bunches and waits for the big sprint. As this will be a pretty busy one coming up. The riders taking up a lot of space there as they're in turn 3. Bunched very closely behind the race leader down the sprinter's lane. It's a junior leading this big thing currently. The rider in the white helmet down in the sprinter's lane with the most number of points, holding on as long as he can. He's got the most advantageous lane. He doesn't have to hurry things along. Right alongside him, he's got the green, looking left and right. That's number 306, Luke Wilson. Also playing a bit of a guard dog position there at the front. There comes another rider for the Airtech Racing team coming out from the back of the field, trying to make a big attack down into the back straight and into turn 3. James Campbell Harris takes the lead spot. Luke Wilson counter punch, tries to hit the back wheel, tries to accelerate over the top and over the right. Here he comes. It's Luke Wilson, the rider in the white helmet, takes the lead spot. Coming to the line, it'll be Big Luke across the line first. 3:04, I think we'll take the second spot across the line. That's Carson Hedrick in the black for 3 more points. And a good finish in the split scratch for the Cat 3 men. All riders done on this lap, and they'll exit on the back straight. I'm standing in a blurry dream. No one else can see us. So let us dance this night away. And with that, the Cat 1-2 men invited to the rail. Our next category, up to the rail, please. And we thought our last group was a good showing tonight. This is an even bigger group, our Cat 1-2 men, with a great turnout on our opening night. This will be a 16-lap event, a split scratch once again. This time we're going to get a bell at 9 to go for the points at 8. And again, we'll get one at 1 to go for the final sprint. Riders in the neutral, and they'll get their whistle out of turn 4, just like you've been watching. This is our 3rd split scratch in a row. 1 more to go. That'll be for the open women's field. They're coming up next, before we'll mix up the race format a bit and try something else. And the sound of the whistle means racing is underway. 16 to go. Cat 1-2 riders on the track and ready to go. Over 20 riders tonight will open the race up in this field, and that is a great showing for a first evening. Really happy to see that, and so glad we have so many people here on the home stands too, here to cheer on the riders. A great showing from our home fans, so thank you for making your way out. It's great to see you here. We're excited for 2023. What a great night to kick things off here. If you're at home watching or you're far-flung checking us out on YouTube, thank you for being here. We luckily, in the off-season, our goal was met. We hit the 1,000 subscribers. We got the watch hours. We're partner status. We continue to be excited about that. Just means that we're going to be bringing a little bit more interactivity this season. We're thinking about using some of the live chat as a way to raise money and for preems and allow some online contributions for that to occur, so we thought that might be kind of fun. If you're here in person and you're wondering about the live stream, you want to be able to share it with friends and family or rewatch the racing later, you can go to velodrome.org/live, and we're actually got a little page there with the results, the current racing schedule, and of course a link to the live stream on YouTube. You can find us on YouTube directly by looking for the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome, and you'll find the racing action there for all of our special events and our Friday night racing, always posted up on that site. So glad you could join us. If you're here and enjoying the stream, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the thumbs up. Share it with a friend. Let them know that you're enjoying watching some great racing here in the Pacific Northwest. We are the only velodrome here in the state and one of the last remaining up here in our region. We got a couple buddies across the border to the north that are holdouts as well. But we're a great facility and proud of it, and we love this community of riders, and we love for more people to be able to watch it and celebrate it and see what's going on here. 13 to go. Still plenty of laps before the first bell. Jeff Reed for Drop Bar Racing at the front for just a moment, number 120. Oftentimes in these races, especially early in the season, my prediction is we're going to have the field, as you saw in the last race, it's generally together. Then that first sprint is going to really wake things up. Some riders are going to be like, oh yeah, I wasn't ready for that today. Oh man. And others are going to be like, this is my opportunity to really put the nail in the coffin and end the race. Right now, mostly just looks like they're working together, different riders at the front. They'll take a fair turn, about a half lap or so on our big velodrome. 12 laps to go. It's Kenny Williams wearing the blue of the Center Cycles jersey, pulls up to the right. And again, everybody taking about that 200 meters or so before they pull out of the way. Yeah, this fixture of the Redmond community, this place has been here for many years now. I'll have to do the math on the exact number of years opening. But in partnership with King County Parks, we are one of the very few places you can come and watch this kind of racing, and we get the joy of just sitting in one place and watching this great show every Friday night. The only thing you got to watch out for is rain. We do cancel in the case of rain. This surface is pretty dangerous and slick. So if that were the case, you can check our socials for cancellations. You can follow us on Twitter, and you can find us on Facebook. Look for JBMV on Twitter and Instagram, or search for the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome Fan Zone. You can find us on Facebook. And if we post any cancellations there, we'll let you know, and we also will tend to send out some sort of notification to everybody that registered. So please keep your eyes open for those. 10 to go. A couple more laps for that bell. One more to go for the bell, I should say. At 9 to go, we're going to hear that first one. So they're getting geared up here. Here I am prattling on about the velodrome, and the race is really underway. They've started to bunch up things a little bit as they cross the line there, but now we'll start to things stretch out as they know the next lap is going to be the bell lap leading into this first sprint. Enough riders out here tonight. You really need to play for position. Get off the front. Be in a good spot to compete. Don't get yourself in the middle or in the back of this long group. Makes things really tough to get into place. There's the bell. Our first points coming out next time around. Nice big move over the right-hand side out of the third lane as number 121 comes on the big attack. It's Sam Frigo of the Gene Johnson cycling team. Had a nice campaign last season. Looks like he's in pretty good shape to start this year as Frigo opens up a really nice opening here. That window's big for the rider from Gene Johnson. He looks like he's already on his way to sail in for the 5. And a nice hit here for Frigo. That's going to be number 124 for 3, 104 it looks like for 2. Looked like it was Matty Hers there for picking up 2 points, and Tomko picking up 1. Your race leader, Sam Frigo, we saw him well ahead of the group. And the winner of the group sprint was number 124, John Bowie, for the Liquid Velo Expeditors. I'm going to figure that one out. Picking up the sprint out of the group, so he'll pick up 3, and currently now in second place overall. Things will settle back down, and unlike our last group, this group stays together, so we still got a field, and it's 6 to go. We'll have another bell at 1 to go. That's the rider in second that's riding at the blue line at the front of the field as the attack goes away. Oh, getting some real big action here now. Not just 1, but 2. This could make an interesting situation with a break here away from the group. And 5 to go. Let's see if anybody decides to turn up the pace a bit and bring back Christian Miller, number 123. And that's number 181 we saw come across the line behind him. Scott Grinsel of the Dyna Racing team closing in on him. And the next closest riders, they got a ways to go. Some good distance here. Christian Miller will sit up. He's looking for some reinforcements at the front as he's got the rider coming up out of the group as Grinsel, Mr. G, coming all the way up from the field. We were playing with his nickname last year. Was it Ghost? I think it might be Ghost. I'm trying to figure this one out. It's been so long. At 4 to go, 2 riders just barely off the front of the field, can see them just there, so that's a perfect spot to kind of entice them for the sprint. Unless that break can get organized and really push away, maybe get a few more helpers. That field looks like it's ready to catch him any second. That looks like the big effort of Ben Flom on the front. The rider with the blue and the orange doing a lot of the work to bring back the leaders as they hit the home straight. Grinsel in the lead still. He lost Miller on the back half of that last lap. And he also will abandon the effort now, sitting above the blue line, allowing the field to catch. No reason to keep using that energy, as it looks like that mission is over. Bit of a hop there from the rider for Gene Johnson, pulls a couple riders in front of the field and stretches things out in single file formation. Back into the field, showing a little bit of fatigue here, so I think the riders at the front got the idea. Let's kind of gun it a little bit here and see what we can do. Maybe a bit of damage. The Found Cycling teams, Chris Wilson, back in good shape here this season. Looks like he wants to get active near the end of the race, and he makes this thing a race between three as he brings two riders out of the field and the rest sit up to kind of regather their energies. It's going to be Chris Wilson joined by two now coming out onto the home straight, and they're going to be seeing the one to go, and it's going to be the Bell lap, their final chance for points. One to go, one to go. 124 has got points. He has three already. Number 121, Sam Frigo, the winner in the first sprint, is also up there. Chris Wilson without any points trying to get in there, the rider in green. There goes your rider in second overall. If he can get the 5, he should guarantee himself the win here, so he's going to make the big move. And it looks like 124 as John Bowie makes the big move down the back straight, and he'll pull himself away. That should be good for the victory. He'll get the tie break. Even as Sam Frigo comes across for 3 more, it's not enough. Chris Wilson finds 2. That'll move him up the finishing order nicely. And that's 103, Andy Baker coming in the line there with the white helmet. Our last rider to pick up points on the final sprint. Everybody wrapped up on this lap and exit on the back straight. Looks good. Let's bring out the open women field to the rail, please. Our open women competitors to the rail. Our final split scratch tonight before we'll change up the racing format. We have the JB Kirin heats and finals. Oh, a Kirin night here already on our very first evening. How fun is that? That's going to be coming up next. Cat 4 Men will be our first group. You can go to velodrome.org/live to see the postings for those start groups already up there. The heats have been pulled and posted. Again, that's velodrome.org/live. You can click the button there right at the top, the red button, and take a look at the heats. And we have the call from the officials on the infield. We're going to start bringing Cat 4 Men to stage. Heat A is Fairbanks, Ratchford, Herink, Ernichev, Ulrich, Gola, and Heat B is Matsushima, Park, Lee, Turk, and Westover. Cat 4 Men should head to the staging area on the infield to be ready to come on to the warm-up circle for the Kirin. We'll get you ordered and ready to start. Try to get ourselves back to how we were doing it last season. It was very efficient. We'll call you up for the ready area, and we'll get you lined up onto the warm-up circle, bring you out as soon as that previous race is done, as quick as we can. Nice and efficient. So we'll call you up as we go through tonight. Please be ready. The next group after the Cat 4s will be the Cat 3s. Once again, you can check your heats on velodrome.org/live, riders. You can check it out beforehand if you want to know where you're going to be. On the track now, our final split scratch. The open women's field will be starting out of turn 4. Looks like they're all together, so we'll wait for the sound of the whistle, and racing will be underway. And there's our start, and 14 to go. By now, you should know how the race works. Let's see how our field races in this 2 sprint points race, the split scratch. Starting things off, one of our strong riders from last season, that's Heather Nielsen in the blue, riding a number 3, takes the lead of the lap. Our open field combining a few different official categories of riders all into one. Always looking for new riders to join us here at the Velodrome. If you want to find out more information about what it takes to start racing, well, one of the best ways to do it, if you're an adult and you're like, I'm not sure this is for me, but it sounds kind of cool. What if I could just try it out? Well, turns out we have a class called Try It Out. Let's try the track. It's 1 hour. It's about $10. It includes the bike, so you get a rental bike included in those $10. You get some staff help to get you on the bike, get nice and comfortable, figure out what it's like to ride on these fixed gear bikes, get a little sense of the speed, get a sense of the track, and then by the end of it, you can be like, well, maybe this isn't my thing, or maybe it is, and you want to sign up for one of our adult classes, which is a 4-hour weekend class. And after that's done, you are ready to start the beginning racing nights. Those are small fields with lots of coaching, debriefs before and after each race to kind of help people figure out and learn what they need to learn. And then, of course, once you get through that, you get upgraded to Cat 4s and you're okay to race. You don't need a team. You don't need a fancy jersey. We can even help you with that bike. We've got a nice rental fleet here, thanks to all the great donations and support we get from our community. So if you're looking to get on the track, we're a great place to really get riders started. We got great classes and offerings, and you can check all of that on our website at velodrome.org. See if you can find a class and it fits your schedule. And if not, you can always reach out and ask if we can try to schedule something for you and family and friends that might want to come out and get a little instruction. Our group stretched out pretty single file here and taking their turns, being very efficient in the early goings. Their first bell isn't until 8 to go, so they know that at the beginning of this race, this is a good opportunity to kind of get the feeling of being back in the pack and racing together. It's a mixed group. We got some really young riders in here, so some of our young lady competitors at the front of the group, and of course our veterans, our experienced riders. So because it's an open category, it kind of allows all of them together. So it's a very inclusive group here. And as they go around, they are taking their turns, again, about 200-meter poles on our big, huge 400-meter track. If you've not been out here before, if you remember taking a lap at your high school's track and field track, it's the same distance, roughly 4 laps to the mile. Riders still nice and lined up here at 10 to go. It's Lucy Dorer at the lead for a moment. As she pulls up and takes her turn is done. It's Rue Tomkos. They'll take the lead spot now. Just taking their turns one at a time. And the idea here, of course, is that you are most efficient when behind another rider. You can see it in the big pack too, right? You'll watch the riders in those big groups always need to find a wheel. They're trying to find the position they want to be in. When you're in big single file, this is the most efficient and least competitive lineup you can see. Riders are getting in their positions. They're just sharing the workload, taking their turns. And there's a long time before your next pull. So it's the most efficient way to get your rest. Seeing 9 to go. Next time around, we'll get our first bell, and we can start seeing some points here. See who wants to jump out for the early lead in this one. That's Kelly Darlene now taking the lead, number 9 in the blue jersey. You have to do better than just blue jersey, I think. There's a lot of blue jerseys in these fields. So Kelly's got the blue with the blue helmet as she takes the lead spot for a moment. Also kind of that yellow handlebar tape. They know bells are coming up, so you see some of the riders start to sit a little high, and they move towards the blue line. Now a bit of a wedge formation behind Amar Edwards, who leads the field as the bell's ringing. But here comes a big attack from number 204. It's Doherty for the Breakfast Racing team. Make a nice move up over Amar and take the lead spot away, and now the pursuit is on to see if they can bring this one back down the back straight. Good move here from one of the kids. We got the bright orange bike closing things down. Here comes Gene Johnson colors, I believe. Oh, the center cycle's blue, I should say. Heading the corner, here comes Jerry Baker Jr. That's number 1. You know her, you love her. It's Danny Scoville for the Jerry Baker Jr. Still looking quick here this season. She'll take the first 5. And your early leader, of course, USSR a moment ago for the Jerry Baker Jr. is Danny Scoville with 5. Annette Williams of the Kenmore Velo team, number 11, sitting in second with 3 after the first sprint. For the Jerry Baker Jr.'s Charlotte Westover picks up 2 and is sitting in third. Doherty for the Breakfast Racing team finds 1, sitting in 4th. Everyone else looking for their first point, and they'll have another opportunity and 1 to go. On deck, here comes the Kirins. We're going to be seeing some pretty fast racing behind the pacer, and it's going to be the JB Kirin, which means we kind of go back to some rules we like it the way we used to do it. So we'll have some fun with that. Don't get to do it this way very much during the regular season, so we'll host that one coming up here shortly. All of our Cat 4 men are already ready and queued up on the infield. We'll call the Cat 3s for their heats here shortly once we get those Kirins underway. Showing 5 to go. Riders coming together nicely again. There's the bright orange bike of number 201. You can see her from across the track as Charlotte Westover has the lead of the group, and she found some points in that last effort. So she's still in this race for sure, going to try to find a way to get some more on the last lap. Race leader with bib number 1. She took the season points last year too, so she gets the honor of wearing bib number 1 this year. Danny Scoville at the front. Currently your race leader pulling up there to the blue line and slowing off the pace just a hair. And we'll find a place to rest before the final effort. Still 4 to go as the group hits the home straight. 4 to go. Great showing on the online stream here tonight. Great to see so many fans checking us out. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button while you're here. A quick like and a subscribe for the channel would really help us out. We are really proud of the progress we've made with things here. You can actually see we've got a new member of the team. We're up to 3 now working the live stream alongside of me, and you'll notice the mobile camera that's down there that's kind of running around and help us getting great shots and improving our angles from all sides. And that's, again, we are a nonprofit organization. That's always in part to the support we get from all of our supporters, our sponsors, our community members, our riders who help contribute to funds that help us be able to do cool things like this. So thank you, thank you, thank you for doing what you're doing, and thanks for saying hello and checking in on the chat. Good to see some of you watching from afar. And again, we're really happy with the turnout here tonight for our very first night of racing. Lots of people showing up, not just to compete, but to watch as well. So welcome to the Velodrome. Hope you are having a great time. We do this every single Friday night at 7 o'clock. It's a great stop before your full weekend plans, or it can be a great end to a picnic and some time in the park. And if you didn't bring the food, on most Friday nights, once the regular season's underway, we actually bring out the beverages and the food trucks and all the good fun. So at 2 to go, nice effort here from number 9. That's Kelly. That was off the front. And the chase is number 3, Heather Nielsen. Darlene did not find any points in that first sprint. So number 9 saying, I need to find something here. The college kid coming back to race with us, as she was just recently on that Jerry Baker Jr.'s team, but still making her way back up here to the Pacific Northwest and competing with us here this weekend, seeing if maybe this right-away effort might be the key to success. And it might be really well timed here. It's still Kelly off the front as the bell's going now for 1 to go. Darlene getting a bit of help from the home crowd. Number 9 looking in pretty good. Nice effort. Still climbing right now, not falling. 2:22 for the junior team. That's Rue Tomko as they'll take the lead spot of the group and try to pull this thing in a bit closer. You can see they have that red helmet. You can tell which one's Rue from the colors of the helmet as the group bunches up behind them. Can anybody make the jump up to Kelly? Nobody's getting around Rue's wheel yet. It's still going to be Kelly off the lead. There's a nice gap. She still has it. It looks like she's able to ride away with this one. There's not going to be a catch. Kelly with a really nice timed effort at about 2 to go. Sneaks away for the 5. And a great finish for that rider. Here comes the sprint for 3. Number 1, Scoville sprints in the field, and she knows that's enough to actually get the victory tonight. So although she came across the line second on the last lap, it'll be Scoville, your unofficial winner, with 8 points. Great race for the open women's field. A couple more competitors finishing up. We're going to get these Kirins started in just a moment, folks. More great racing coming up in just a bit. Cat 4s, Heat A, coming onto the track behind the Kirin bike. And more to come in just a moment. We're going to go through the 4 categories here in a row for the heats first. These heats are going to be qualifying events, so depending on where riders finish, they'll either qualify for the major or the minor. They'll get to ride again for either a really good spot or maybe not as good of a spot, depending on how they race in the qualifying round. Once we get through all the heats, we'll come back to the top of the order and we'll go through all the finals rounds. Should be a great time. And of course, Kirin Racing, a different type of format. This is going to be behind a pacer that's going to lead the way around the track for these riders for a couple laps before it exits. Here comes our first heat onto the track. Heat A on the track now behind the pacer. We've got a very fancy battery-powered assistant e-bike there at the front. Our help from our good friends at Greg Cycles, one of our longtime sponsors, and a big thanks to them for helping set us up with this great pacing bike. And on this group here, we've got 6 competitors. 3 advanced to the finals, only the top 3. So let's see what we got here. Keegan Fairbanks in the first position, Patrick Radford in position 2, number 410. That's Tom Herring, number 413 is the 3rd rider. The 4th rider in the group, Anton Ernishev. 5th in the group, Kevin Ulrich, and Ian Gola, the rider in the last spot from the draw. That's randomized. They're just got in line, and here they are, seeing 3 to go. The race doesn't feel like it's started just yet. It doesn't really get started until that pacer bike pulls out of the way right near the end of the race. So this idea here is the group gets brought up to speed with less effort than usual. Kirin Racing internationally is a pretty big event. It's also part of course, the Olympic cycle. It's part of international competition. Our version here lately has required the Bodo to pull off pretty early. On our JB one, we're going to go just a little longer on it. It's going to be fun. So we'll see how this pulls off. Cat 3, Heat A, please, to the ready area. Cat 3, Heat A, to the ready area, please. Ackle, Magidson, Wainwright, Douglas, and Fowler. To the ready area, please. Seeing 2 to go. You can see the pace is picked up quite a bit on that last lap, pardon me, as we're getting ready to drop the lead bike and let this race really go underway. And bam, there goes the pacer, and the race is really off now. Down the back straight, the group has all the choices they want, but of course top speed is a pretty good one. As Fairbanks just tries to keep on the tempo. Keegan still leading this thing out. The bell's ringing, it's 1 to go. Top 3 advance to ride again. Top 3 advance to ride again. That's 403, Anton Ernishev, who kind of shoots the gap right down the center and finds himself out in front. Kevin Ulrich for Gene Johnson tries to come up alongside of him. They know they just got to be top 3. It's not about winning this race. It's about winning the next one. Anton's starting to lose a little bit of speed here. If he can hold on to the position, he's still in 3rd overall. Ulrich looking pretty high and good here now. The rider with the white helmet comes across nice and clear. And there's 410 in the all black as Patrick Radford will pick up the 2nd place finish and will advance, as well as Ernishev. Should be our 3 advancers unofficially. Cat 3, Heat B should go ahead and get themselves set to go and come over to the ready area. These are going to go fast now that we're in the Kirin. Thank you for your preparation and making this go quickly. We appreciate it. Here comes Heat B now into the track. 3 more riders to advance to the finals. Already got a Go Sam on the chat. I saw a Go Mike way earlier. People are cheering out for our riders. Thanks for tuning in. And if you can do it even if you're here in person, you can use that as a way. It's like a quick little way to have a quick instant message to the announcer. Bam. If you really want it up there, you can hit that super chat button. It gets nice and colorful, and it's a way to donate right back into the 501c3 that runs this place. That's right. Donations as convenient as using YouTube while you're up there and watching. That's good fun. The Marymore Velodrome Association, the 501c3 that operates this place, is run in big part by the money we raise from donations and our efforts in the off-season. Thanks to everybody who made this year's auction a huge success. Not least, of course, would be Amara for all of her work getting all the great items and putting together a great event, but all the financial things that came together from everybody out there. Really a great, successful year. So thank you for helping us raise some more money and helping us make this season just as good or better than last year. Really appreciate all the support people have thrown the way of the Velodrome this year. Nearly 40 people watching online. Thanks for joining us again. Good to see y'all. Good turnout from everybody here tonight. This makes me excited for 2023. We got lots of great racing scheduled for everybody. Don't forget to mark your calendars for the kickoff May 26th and 27th. It's a weekend of racing. It's a normal Friday night with a few bonus fun things added, plus a Saturday with both a time trial session in the morning and we have an extra evening race at night. The moto is pulled away, the pacer has turned left, and now the field is left to their own devices. Your 5 riders on the group coming around the corner. Here they get the bell, 3 to advance. Who will it be to ride in the finals? Trevor at the front of the group, number 408. 406, Jamie Park. Both of those riders did very well in their split scratch. Looking to try to stay strong here in the Kirin. As they start to pull away a bit, it's going to be the race for third at this point. Is now a nice effort coming from the riders behind. Wilson Turk trying to come back up on this thing. Seeing if he can close the gap down. It's just about a bike length. If he can just hold on to this. Now a secondary attack coming in on the outside as Westover tries to accelerate. That might be Westover taking advantage of the positioning. And it is the rider number 401 in a great spot to close that one down. Looks like will be the rider to advance into the finals. Here comes the Cat 3 men. Heat A will be coming onto the track here in just a moment. They're followed by Heat B. Heat C should be making way over as well. The stakes get higher. There's more riders here tonight. We're not riding minor finals. There's not a repechage. It's just straight to the major final. Only 2 advance. Straight out of these heats. So you got to go for it in this one. It's nearly, you have to win it. You got to be in the top 2 to qualify for the next attempt. All Cat 3s at this point should head on over if you haven't already come over for check-in. All heats should either be on the track or in check-in. Following them will be the Cat 1-2 field. Please be prepared for your event. Thank you. Let's see who our competitors are in this group. We got Alex Ackel of the Audi racing team in the bold red colors right at the front with the white helmet. Right behind him for the Jerry Baker Juniors is David Magidson. We saw some of his action here earlier in that split scratch. Gene Wainwright, 333. Got a good number for Dyna Racing there right in the middle. Stanley Douglas, the Flow Cycling Factory team, is the 4th rider in the lineup. And also for Jerry Baker Juniors, it's Will Fowler making up the 5th position in the group. The Kirin is touted as a top speed event, and part of that is that some of the effort is being saved here as we take the draft from that pacing bike. A little bit of gap here being left by our rider from Audi is not taking full advantage of that, but this might be a little bit unstable there as we've had a bit of gusting here and there, a little bit of winds on the track tonight. So playing it safe. At 2 to go, we'll find ourselves a half lap away from the race being really let loose. Going to watch that rider in 2nd position. I'm going to be interested to see how he plays this race, and certainly the response from the rider that's now moved up into that 3rd position, number 347. And here comes the bell, and everybody's bunching up behind Stanley Douglas. Let's see. Flow Cycling tries to make the big move. Riding the big gear and holding on to the front for a little bit here. Let's see how the rest of the field responds. Top 2 advance, so you got to make the big effort. Audi Racing does a nice respond here as well. There's Magidson, the junior I called out to watch earlier. He's in a good position and holds on to it. Oh, it's a sprint between 3 for just 2 spots. We got a good effort here. Douglas is trying to hold on to the lead spot. The rider at the lead still there. He's trying to hold on just a little bit longer. The charge from Audi's coming in. The junior wants to get into the race. Whoa! My unofficial call gives it to the inside for Douglas, but that's a close one. It could be the junior too. We'll wait for the official to give it the call. First across the line was the rider from Audi. Nicely done. It will be Ackel and Douglas riding again in the final officially. Ackel and Douglas advance to the final. Heat B on track now. Heat C should be queued up. The first group for Cat 1-2 men should be in the ready area as well. Let's get Heat A for Cat 1-2s over to the ready area. Grab your stuff and get yourself ready to go. Still finding more riders for the major final. You got to do well in the heats, and then you get a chance to race for the top 6 positions. And your first opportunity for some upgrade points here in this season, and well as just getting off to a good competitive start to 2023. Let's check out our group here in this second of 3 groups for the Cat 3 men. First up, we got Z-Dog Peterson of the Fell Swoop team. Mike Ritter, second wheel position. In the fourth wheel spot is Andrew Lynch of Gene Johnson Cycling. JC Pyle for Jerry Baker Jr. in the fifth spot, and James Campbell Harris, Aerotech Racing, is the sixth rider in group. And let's see who's in third in the group here. Justin Captis makes up the middle of the group, number 368. And our group here, again, just another lap out before the pacer pulls out of the way, and we'll see who our next top two are to advance to the major finals. Good action here on our first night of racing of 2023. The preseason is only a preseason because we get accustomed to rain cancellations at this time of year, and we don't start handing out the season points until the regular season starts with the kickoff on the 26th. And then all through June, July, and August, we run a regular season where riders can accumulate points for their success throughout the season. At the end, we kind of rank them up and see who ends up being the overall Omnium winner for this whole time. It's a great time to be around and watch the action unfold throughout the season. Nice big move here for the rider from Dyna Racing. Number 321, making the big move. Ritter opening it up out of turn 4. Nice counterpunch for the rider for the Jerry Baker Jr.'s team, though. Look out for Pyle, who also wants to be in this final race. Ritter opened up things pretty nicely. If he hadn't gone as big as he has gone, he might get caught, but he still has a good gap. Here comes Pyle around the corner, looking like he's going to hold on to this thing. Ritter trying to roll in for the finish. No, just enough, I think, to hold on. 301 was trying to close in fast. I think the rider in pink will get it. And our final heat for the Cat 3s coming onto the track now. 2 more advance to the final. We'll see who can join our fast group of Cat 3 riders out of this field. Hyun Lee, look out for the rider for the Lake Washington Velo team, the first in the lineup. David Branson of Apex Racing is second in the lineup. Merrick Gallagher, Jerry Baker Jr.'s third wheel. Mike Jors, the fourth competitor. Luke Wilson for the Seattle Cycling Club is fifth. Carson Hedrick in the all black is your last rider in the group in the 6th position. Branson leaving a little bit of room between him and Hyun Lee at the front of the group, but nothing to do just yet. We're still a little bit out before the real race starts, but Hyun Lee is glued on nicely. He's trying to be as conservative as he can and make every bit of effort easier for himself. As I know Hyun's gunning at this one. If he has a chance to attack from the front and do well here tonight, he's going to try. See what he can make happen. Branson's still leaving some room here as the rest of the field starts to kind of separate themselves just a little bit at 2 to go. Merrick Gallagher, the rider for the Jerry Baker Jr.'s with the red helmet, picking up steam at the end of last season. No wanting to come into this one with some aspirations. We've got a lot of juniors heading to nationals. So the season is not just about doing well here in the Pacific Northwest, but also preparing for their efforts abroad. Hyun Lee will pull off the pace and find a wheel. He's not wanting to lead this thing, so now the effort is going to be given to David Branson to lead this thing out as the bell's ringing. The rider in blue for Apex Racing takes the lead a lap. 1 to go, 2 riders to advance. Apex Racing still in the front of this one. Hyun Lee's tucked himself in nicely. He's waiting for the second effort now. Down the side of this race, here comes the junior. Merrick Gallagher's trying to pick things up a little bit down the backstretch. You're going to see Carson Hedrick accelerating. Now the rider in all black takes a side-by-side with Gallagher. Top 2 advance. Riders still making their run at it. It's Gallagher looking nice and smooth coming through the turn. Under control for the junior from the sprinter's lane. He'll hold on to this one. The sprint is on for second. Whoa! Luke Wilson runs at it in the last second, hits the blue line nicely and accelerates around turn 4. Surprising, I think, both of the other competitors there in the last moment. Nice acceleration for Luke. He'll make his way in alongside of Gallagher to ride again in the finals. Cat 1 2 men coming on the track now. We've got 3 heats. After that, the open women will come up for theirs. 4 heats, my mistake. We've got top 2 advancing from each of these to make a final heat of 8. These are groups of 5 or 6 making up these this qualifying round for the Cat 1-2 men. Currently on the track, bib 101, your top season finisher from last season. Mario Sandoval draws first position in this first group. Dave Chip Chase for Liquid Velo in second. Stomko for Center Cycles is the third rider. Eric Waterman for Dyna Racing fourth in the lineup, and Nick Martinez, the Coefficient of Speed squad in the blue with the black helmet, is the fifth rider in the lineup. 3 to go. And of course, this is all part of the setup for the big fast finish that we're going to get to enjoy later on. Riders have to qualify, they get some rest, and they come back out again for a second effort to see if they can place well in the Kirins. Sandoval at the lead spot, and will stay there, as most of these fields will do. They'll get their positions drawn and then camp their spots behind that lead bike all the way around for about 2.5 laps. But once things got underway, it is allowed and permissed for riders to change up positions. So you will see in some of our fields this season, you'll watch some of the riders reposition, especially in some of the finals when riders have a real plan of attack that they want to try to execute. Depending on their strategy, the wheel they want to be behind, the timing of their jump, the type of strength that they bring to the track, they may come with a different approach than where they drew up at the line. Sandoval is in the lead of the field now as the pacer's out of the way. The rider in almost all white with a slight touch of green gets the bell. Sandoval looking for the top 2 place here in the Kirin. Chip Chase on the wheel. Everybody's come a little out of the sprinter's lane behind Sandoval, who's kind of abandoned the red line. He'll come back down into it, and the rest of the riders are going to follow suit. Chip Chase still in the second spot, but stuck down there. He doesn't really want to go alongside the Coefficient of Speed, holding him down. Maybe a bit of opportunity now for Chip Chase to push through, as there's a bit of a window that's opened up around Sandoval. Sandoval at the front. Chip Chase trying to hold on to the wheel in the sprinter's lane. It's enough. Chip Chase will race again alongside Sandoval in the major. Second heat coming on track. Heat C, our third group, is on deck, and all of our Cat 1-2s should practically be ready. As shortly after that, your fourth group, Heat D, will come up. And our second heat now coming onto the track. Let's find 2 more fast finishers and build this thing up. It's going to be Sandoval and Chip Chase waiting for a couple more challengers. Jeff Reed, the first rider in the group. Christian Miller, the second. The third rider, Austin Hildreth. Sam Frigo in the blue for Gene Johnson Cycling. Nolan Adams, the pink of Dyna Racing. And your last rider, Ben Flom, in the orange and blue kit for Fell Swoop. 6 riders, 2 to advance. Seeing 3 to go. Picking up pace nicely. We're about half lap out from watching the pacer pull out of the way. Nice big move here as things are starting to open up. Big attack down the home straight and almost in single file formation. Christian Miller looking around, making sure that he's not spending unnecessary energy, maybe thinking someone else is going to make the jump up. Just need to be top 2 here, so trying to play it as smart and conservative as possible. Maybe thinking if we wait this thing out, we can just go overtake. Down the back straight, the race really starting to open up. Miller on a nice effort from the front here. Looks like Frigo is going to make the counter punch, and now it looks like Miller and Frigo really taking a nice acceleration around turn 3. Big pickup of speed. And it looks like a rider for Gene Johnson, 10 speed. It'll be 121 and 123, the official top 2. 2 more heats to qualify into the finals. Our open women's field should begin set to go. Our first group from the open women competitors can make their way over to in the ready area, please. Big shout out not just to all of our fans that are here today, been talking to you up a lot because it's great to see so many people here on this first night of racing, but also big thanks to our sponsors. We are brought to you by a great team of local businesses and supporters of the track that have stepped up in big ways this year and in years previous. Our big thanks to Sound Transit, our big new partner here, who's helping us in big ways out in 2023 and beyond. Broadmark Capital, Vision FSA, Stanley, Greg's Bicycles, John Douglas Cycling Attorney, 513, Experience Redmond, Postdoc Brewery, Locust Ciders, DBC Photo, Kachina Fresca, Gene Johnson Plumbing, Therabody, Move Redmond, Better Builders, Waterman Rhinoplasty, and Corporal Solano Physical Therapy. What a list of fantastic support we have. If you want to be a part of this community and help support the riders, you can get in touch with us through our website and contact us about a sponsorship inquiry, or just come talk to us in person if you've got somebody you think might be interested to advertise or help out with an athletic community like our own. We'd love to chit chat. At 2 to go, our field about to lose the pacer here, this third of 4 groups. So Mike Darlene drew first spot, is still in the lead of this field. It's Tyson Danielson in second wheel, Matt Haldeman in third in the single malt velo colors, blue and pink. Kenny Williams in the blue makes up the 4th spot, and at the back end of this group currently is John Bowie, but we saw what he can do in the split scratch. Let's see what happens here at 1 to go with the bell ringing and 2 to advance. That's number 112, Danielson, that finds himself at the front, throwing things around and trying to make a big splash of things, letting himself plenty of running room, and Bowie, with that great turn of speed that he's known for, turns on the afterburners and off he goes for a big quick catch and up to the top 2 position, no problem. Bowie's warming up still for some more. Danielson looking nice and strong tonight. He'll pick up the second across the line, and those 2 will advance for more great racing in the finals. You're going to want to stick around for these finals, folks. We got good racing already tonight, as we've got top speed impressive on this evening from our riders. Our last heat for the Cat 1-2s on the track now. Rustvold. Ryan Rustvold is in the first position, number 125. Andy Baker in second position. Scott Grinsell, your third position rider. In fourth, in the green, that's Chris Wilson. And Matty Hers, number 104, Coefficient of Speed, the competitor in fifth position in this lineup. Couple laps before the real competition starts. This is our final qualifier to find 2 more riders for the major finals for the Cat 1-2s. Before our open women come out here and do the same, we'll have 2 heats for them to figure out their top 6. And then we're going to go all the way back to the Cat 4 men for their finals. Three to go. Hope you're enjoying your evening here, and thanks for joining us. If you're here in person and you're feeling, man, you know, I could really use right now is a burger and some fries, or maybe, I don't know, a nice cold cider or something. Well, turns out that happens in a couple weeks, so don't forget, if you join us on May 26th or any other Friday night through the regular season afterwards, we got food trucks. We got dessert food trucks here sometimes. We got great beverages from Locust Ciders and Postdoc Brewery that are here, our regular season beverage sponsors. And you don't want to miss the fun. It just takes the whole atmosphere up another level. Our locals from Redmond are coming out. I can't wait to see the scene once we get the East Link opened up and we've got some foot traffic coming off from Metro coming in here. It's going to be a great time. So Friday nights here in Redmond are always good. Come check us out on a Friday night in the regular season and check out the scene for yourself. It's 1 to go. Rustvold holding on to the line still for the Hagens-Berman team in the blue and black, but he'll lose it to Baker now, who takes off on around his right-hand side down the back straight. It's 4 riders lined up. This is pretty evenly matched and hard to call as Mr. G's holding on well. The rider in the gray for Dyna Racing trying to stay in a good position. Coefficient Speed is also finding a nice window here. It's going to be Matty Hers, sneaky down in the sprinter's lane, finds the opening he needs and looks comfortably in control of that one. Number 104 and 103, 2 riders that finished top 5 last season will finish top 2 in the qualifier. Here come the open women's field heats. Our first one just about to come onto the track. And that's right, we got 2 heats, and 3 will advance from each to make a group of 6. And in the open women's field, let's check out our first group that's currently on track. We've got 5 riders competing for 3 spots. First up, we got Bella Mejia, the rider in number 202, leading the way out. It's Charlotte Westover, a teammate right behind her. 201, Lucy Dorr, number 203 in the 3rd spot. Amar Edwards, number 5 for Greg's Racing, although I think tonight she's got on the Mama Bear jersey. And 5 in the lineup, the 5th rider, number 11, Annette Williams. 3 make their way out of this one, so it's not quite as high as stakes as the previous group for the qualifying rounds. We'll see how it goes coming into that major final, set to be very exciting, I think, for all of these groups. We're seeing some great top speed already in the qualifiers. Excited to see what that'll look like when we put all those riders into the same group. Seeing 2 to go. Pacer comes off on the back half of this lap. Now Bella at the lead of the race here in just a moment will be in control of things, and a couple of her teammates behind her waiting to see who's going to try to attack the wheel, if they're just going to be happy sitting on her effort for a little bit longer as they come around the final bend before the bell. Slight repositioning here for one of her teammates along the blue line as the bell's ringing. Top 3 advance, and the juniors are taking the front of the field right now. Lucy comes all the way up to the front. She's trying to just roll up a nice gradual effort on this group. Westover with that orange bike, trying to hold on to that and try to maybe close that down quickly down the back straight. That's Annette Williams falling on her wheel. A couple juniors lead out the effort currently. Edwards also trying to respond and see if she can be in the mix. As we come back onto the home straight, it's still Lucy leading things out. Westover with a nice response, and Annette Williams cruising for the 3rd finish. And there will be our 3. Apparently for our camera crew, our new our walkie-talkies ranges are limited. We're gonna have to change it up. We're up here. For those who can see us, we should turn it on this camera so they can see us from the overlook camera. We're up here like waving like crazy people. We're still figuring things out. It's like it's amateur professional. It's not professional amateur. I think that's the right order. Am pros. Our last group here for the qualifying round is out on the track. This is Heat B for the open women. Kelly Darlene draws position number 1. Danny Scoville, 2nd spot. Rue Tomko, 3rd. Afi Doherty in 4th. Heather Nielsen, 5th. Leah Slander in 6th spot. Haven't talked much about it, but it is indeed part of our programs here to also educate the youth, the juniors in our community, the young riders, the future of the sport. I've talked a little bit about tonight how we have a lot of riders on the Jerry Baker Juniors team. We've got other youth that are out here competing as well. Some that come up from Portland, down from British Columbia. We're big about supporting our juniors. If you check out our calendar, we've got the Junior Takeover once again scheduled this year, which is all about bringing juniors in for education. But if you're a local and you know a youngster somewhere between the ages of about 8 and 13, 14, 15 years old that's looking for an activity to stay active in the summertime especially, the Jerry Baker Juniors team and especially the Camp Velo opportunities are fantastic ways to get young riders involved here in our community. You can take a week-long camp, register for those online through velodrome.org, sign up for your spot. Your kid will get a week of instruction. They'll come in here for about 3-4 hours a day with coaching and assistance. Lots of fun here at the track. And when they're done, they get okayed to race in the beginning junior racing night on Mondays, where they continue to gain experience and get support from our staff and our coaches. Optionally, you can also look into joining teams after that point. So if a rider wanted to find other juniors to jump up and join in with, that's another option that comes part of that. So if you want to know more, don't be afraid to come up and ask questions. You can also just check out the information about Camp Velo. Search Camp Velo at velodrome.org, and you'll get all the information you need for signing up. Fields come together here with less than 2 laps to go. We're about to come into the bell lap. Here is 1 to go. It's Kelly Darlene still on the lead of this thing. 3 riders to make their way into the finals. Darlene trying to hold on to the lead for a little bit longer. She gets up and out of the saddle. Number 1's right on her wheel. That's Scoville, your fast finisher from the scratch and from last season, wearing the important number 1 right on that wheel as Darlene continues to lead the effort around the back straight. Rounding the corner, it looks like those two have just started to pull away a bit as now Scoville making a nice run in it just to take that first spot away from Darlene, but Darlene holds on for second, no problemo. Dougherty trying to make it attack number 204, not quite there to make it across into the finals. Nice ride for our final qualifying heat. And oh my goodness, we go all the way back up to the top of the order. It is time for the Cat 4 men final. And these are your qualifying riders. They made it out of the qualifiers. They've taken some rest. They've already put in the effort. They've proven that they've got speed amongst speedsters. And now here they are in the fast finishing Kirin event. Cat 4's up now. On deck is Cat 3's, then the Cat 1-2's, and of course our open women competitors will go right down that list. Up first, Michael Westover, the first rider, number 401 in this group. Kevin Ulrich, number 402, the second position. Number 403, Anton Ernishev in third spot. Jamie Park, number 406, your fourth position rider. Trevor Matsushima is a fifth rider, and Patrick Ratchford is the sixth rider in the group. Kind of nice how they lined themselves up numerically for me there. Numeric order in the grand final here for the Cat 4 men. Same format we saw before. The only difference again is that these riders qualified to get here. So by the theory of elimination here, our fastest finishers have been left alive to compete, and it should make for even more fun in this finals round. A couple riders at the front of this field have been really crafty tonight and got lots of speed. Look out for the junior in third spot. Ulrich looking very good, the rider in second position. Jamie Park was very active. The rider in fourth wheel position was active in that split scratch earlier tonight. Looking kind of at the middle of this crew and thinking someone out of there is going to make a big move late in this race to try to get the big victory. The pacer just getting out of the way as Westover is making the run at the wheel, but I think it's going to be just late enough, not a problem, as he'll overtake. And Westover carries it into the home straight. He's trying to run away from these guys, not thinking he's got the finishing speed. Make a run at it with 1 to go. Westover losing the lead spot now to number 402. That's your Gene Johnson rider, Kevin Ulrich. He started near the front of the field. Also a bit of a long effort here for the Kirin as he took the lead at about 500 meters to go. So still a long ways to go now as we get the counterpunch from the rider for Dyna Racing. Park running around the corner, trying to hold on to the front spot. It's going to be a good sprint here for the first position. Watch right down the middle of the blue line. It's going to be a sprint for it. It's going to be good. It's still 406. Dyna Racing hold on to it. That's Jamie Park. Looking good in that first race. He finds it, though, together and puts the whole thing together here for the Kirin with a good finish. Cat 3 is on track now for their final. The 6 riders that made it through the qualifiers and left here for great competition. We've got at the front, Luke Wilson, Seattle Cycling Club. Alex Ackel, Audi Racing in the red, number 2 in the lineup. Jerry Baker Jr., he's got 313 on the bib number, third rider in the lineup. Mike Ritter, For Dyna Racing Team, number 321, your fourth rider in this group. Merrick Gallagher, Jerry Baker Jr. is the fifth rider in the group wearing number 344. And finally, 391, Stanley Douglas of the Flow Cycling Factory Team rounds out the group. And with that, we've got 6 riders in just a couple laps before we'll settle the top finisher tonight in the Kirin for the Cat 3 men. Seeing 2 to go, the pacer will pull off on the back straight this time around. We've seen some good efforts from number 306 tonight. Did well in the scratch with some long distance efforts. Not going for the quick snap, so it might be not surprised to see him try to hold on to the front for a little bit here and see what he can do controlling the tempo. Alex Ackel looking really good in his qualifier. Great finishing speed from him, and he's got a really good wheel. So the rider in second space has got a really nice position in this race, as long as the race doesn't come from behind him too quick. At 1 to go, that's exactly what happened as the field will overtake around the outside. Collapsing down into the sprinter's lane from the back of the group is going to be JC Pyle. Tries to make a run at it. It's coming down into corner 1. Luke Wilson trying to pick the things back up again here. Stanley Douglas still holding on to the counterattack. It's going to be Pyle. Here comes Wilson making a nice run at the wheel. He'll catch the back wheel. Good acceleration out of turn 4. Luke Wilson with the white helmet makes the run at it. A nice second effort for the rider in green. Wilson across the line first in the Kirin tonight. Pyle, the junior, holds on for second. A good move out of turn 1 for him. Didn't quite get the victory, but it's still a good finish here for the young rider. Cat 1 2 men coming on track next. And finally, here comes this group of 8 riders we were looking forward to seeing. Our biggest field tonight for the finals. On deck, our open women competitors ready for their final. Some good racing coming up here in the Kirins before we transition to a straight up scratch race to close out tonight's racing program. Let's take a look at this group of 8 riders and see who's showing up to compete today. It's Mario Sandoval wearing that bib, number 101, right at the front of the group. Andy Baker in the second spot. 123 is Christian Miller, the rider in third wheel. Matty Hers wearing the blue of the Coefficient of Speed team. Number 104 is the rider in the fourth spot. That's Chip Chase with the gray. He's got a bit of green on the socks from across the track. You can see him there in 5th position. Sam Frigo for the Gene Johnson cycling team looks to be next up behind him with the white helmet. Right behind him is, I believe, Tyson Danielson. And then our last rider in the group, John Bowie, all the way back there, number 124. Wearing some different colors this year. I'm getting used to the new look for some of our riders. This is my preseason too. Getting back into the swing of all the things. Our riders change kits and sometimes teams in the offseason. So here you're seeing in some of these more experienced groups and where the speed is going to be really high here shortly, the back of the group is starting to get a little more active. So you're going to see a little bit of things to watch for before the sprint's even fully engaged. As we come to the home straight, it's looking pretty busy now. Bell's ringing at 1 to go. Andy Baker, 103, takes the lead spot. Danielson's moved his way up, number 112 along the side, but it's going to be Sandoval in the second attack down in the sprinter's lane who finds his window up and around the outside. He's going to find the blue line down the back straight. Good attack down the hill. Here comes Bowie with his top speed. He's been showing some good form tonight in his finishing speed. Look at his acceleration. Bowie just leaving everybody else in the dirt. Flying on to the home straight is Bowie for Coefficient of Speed, looking very quick this evening. Sam Frigo, also in great early season shape, is going quick here on the Kirin, and a great top speed finish for Bowie in our first night of racing here at the Velodrome. What a finish. Great racing tonight. Such a joy to be here with everybody. We got one more Kirin, and such a joy to be here with our live audience. So many people have tuned in to check us out on our YouTube channel. If you're here in the park, thank you for making the journey in here this evening. Hope you're enjoying the sights and the scenes. This is just our warm-up for the regular season. We got a couple of these preseason events that we host here every Friday night. Racing now happening on Mondays as well. We wait for the regular season for our Wednesday night races, and then of course we got our special events throughout the summer. I got to point you to a really exciting one, folks. If you're a Redmond local you live around here, you're either watching from Redmond or you're here in the park and you're checking it out tonight. We have the Derby Days is a really cool in-town festival. It's got the whole kind of festival feel, the state park kind of, or state festival feel, where we got vendors everywhere, fun things for the kids to do. There's a cool parade that happens in downtown Redmond, and they're going to be partnering with us this year to bring a whole bunch of riders and a whole bunch of fans out here to watch racing on that Friday. So check out Derby Days this summer, and don't forget that we're going to be collaborating with them. That's going to be one heck of a party. So if you want to mark a day on your calendar to come back and have a really good evening with friends and family, hang out in the beverage garden, watch some great racing, and end your night at Derby Days at the Velodrome. Check us out that Friday. It's going to be a really good time. Here's our women's field, our open women group out here, and there are 6 competitors in their final. We'll take a look at their start list and see who we had show up for competition in this group. This will be our final before we go into the scratch races. Seeing 2 to go. That looks to be Lucy at the front of the group. Nope, pardon me, that's Danny Scoville with Kelly Darlene right behind her. Doherty in the third wheel spot. That's Annette Williams, the 4th rider, number 11. We got also Charlotte Westover on the back end and Lucy Dorr in the mix for this competition. So let's see how these riders sort things out now as the pacer's out of the way. Scoville not really interested in attacking from the front of the field. She drew position number 1, but not wanting to be there for the effort. She'll slow up for a second and wait to see what else happens. Bell's ringing, and it's hesitation time. Number 1 and number 11 sitting side by side. The shorter the track gets, the better for Scoville. She's going to continue to hold on for that sprint as Annette Williams plays the patient game down on the back straight. We're well into this one. 200 meters remaining. They pass the 200-meter line now, and just getting up to speed is Scoville. Annette Williams will just try to grab that wheel and see if she can come back in for the second attack, get that acceleration, that slingshot. But Scoville, again, so quick, so fast, and the sprinter's lane's hers. She'll take it. And it'll be Scoville across the line first, Williams second, and Darlene third. And a great finish for our open women's category. This has been some great Kirin racing tonight already early on in our season. Coming up onto the track in just a moment, we're going to be bringing up our Cat 4 men. Looks like they're on the bikes and ready to go, and the track is clear. So let's bring up the Cat 4 men to the rail for the scratch race. Whistle blows for the start of the neutral lap. We're back to the mass start racing that you saw at the beginning of the night if you're watching the split scratch. If this is your first race watching tonight, don't worry, I'll talk to you about it. It's a really straightforward one. The scratch race, you just look at the distance posted. This one's got 12 laps on the cards. At the end, there's going to be a bell at 1 to go, and then whoever crosses the line first is your winner. Fastest racer wins. No points, nothing else to get in the way. First rider here will be your victor. We'll see how our Cat 4 field goes about this race. Of course, when you take away the rules and the complication, it just becomes pure sport. It's all about the athleticism, the tactics, and the smarts that the riders bring to the track. A little bit less about the individual skill sets here in the Cat 4 is just because of the gear restrictions that is applied to the whole group, but we still have different styles and approaches that riders can certainly try to pull off here on the track. 12 lap scratch race coming up. After this, our Cat 3 men will also take on the scratch, and they're on deck. Whistles blown and racing is now officially underway. 12 to go. 12 to go. Lots of methods to get to the finish line. Trevor is going to try the long way and get going early. Our LA local now here competing at the Velodrome, number 408, making his presence known right away on this first lap. As Trevor Matsushima takes that lead for just a moment, but enough to bring the whole group up to speed. He's probably happy with that, as now the field's doing good work here early on. Logan Lee at the front after one completed lap, another one of our young riders. Big effort here for young Logan as he continues to try to drive the pace hard off the front of the field. He's lifted himself about a bike's length of distance here, but not enough to drive anybody off his pace. So 10 to go. The field's relatively on the wheel. Then with young riders, Anton looking at his rear wheel, and just fine taking the lead from the other junior. At 9 to go, relatively coming all back together again as Logan's come off the front. He'll get into the group to rest, and we're now sitting about 2 wide as riders pull off the pace just a bit. The wider they are across the track, the less effort they're spending overall. In the coming weeks, we'll be upping our game again and bringing back the GoPro action cameras for our local riders here. They can help us get some good views in the race. So if you're on the stream and enjoying the views and liking the new action cam views are getting in there, don't forget we get to get down in the race in a lot of our races. And if a rider already has some equipment they'd like to help get on the stream, or if they have some hardware that'll help connect up to a GoPro, we can talk about that at our upcoming races. That'll help us get some really great views down there in the action. It's certainly a favorite when we go back and re-watch the races to get a good look inside of the fields. Not active tonight, but we're going to be working on that here before our big kickoff here in a couple weeks. Nice consistent action here. The field's strung out single file now as there's a decent amount of effort being put at the front, against evidenced by everybody. It's once again our LA rider Matsushima at the front for just a moment to reinstigate the speed. It seems like he has a tempo in his mind. Every time he gets up there, he's serving as the enforcer of that tempo, reestablishing it a bit and trying to get everybody back and up to speed. Some of our bigger fields still on deck for the scratch race. The Cat 3s will be coming up after this. Nearly 20 riders in that group, and then over 20 in our Cat 1-2 men field also still on deck. And don't forget the open women field also have the scratch race to close out the program tonight. So just 4 more races remain here as we look to have a really nice opening Friday night. Don't forget to stay apprised of all the updates from the Velodrome. Best way to keep in touch with us and get instant updates is through the socials. Just look for us at JBMV on Twitter and Instagram. You can find the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome page on Facebook. Just search for us there, and you'll find us, and of course the website, velodrome.org, where you can actually scroll down to the bottom or in our Connect drop-down to get signed up for the newsletter. Another way to get updates from us. We have about 1,800 people that get our updates from us about once a month or so, and that's another great way to get information from us as it comes out. Nice bit of a break here, a bit of a snap in the group. As you can see, some distance between both a group of 2 and 3 pulling away from the field. Our lead group of 2 at 4 to go. That's 406, Jamie Park leading the field there as they hit turn 1. Now really separating into a breakaway group. The chasing field, relatively 6 riders. Three to go, so this is a good time to make this break happen. It's both Park and Matsushima are happy to do this effort to kind of thin down the field and make this a bit of an easier, so-called easier sprint. It's the hard way to earn the sprint, but then you don't have as many bodies to sprint against. The next closest rider in competition, the rider in white, red, and blue, Mike Westover, trying to chase down, is about 25 meters back or so. Rounding the corner just a bit behind our leaders. 2 to go. 2 off the front. Westover just now crossing the finish line is the next closest rider, so a lone break. Another lone rider, number 403, trying to catch back up, and everything's pulled apart now. Our leader's going to get the bell as they round the corner onto the home straight. They've been very strong tonight, trying to earn some early upgrade points this evening as they've been pretty dominant here tonight. Give some more help for Matsushima and Park as they come across the line. It's 1 to go. That's Westover getting pretty close. He's done a nice job closing the gap. He's been going to be pretty spent as he gets up there. May not have enough to try to challenge these two as he hasn't had a partner to rest with at all in this chasing effort. But still a very impressive ride for Westover as he closes in on those two despite being on his own. How about everybody, one more quick round of applause for the Cat 4s in their final race in this good finish. Out of the saddle for Park, and he'll hold on to it. Number 406 will take it in a nice finish as Matsushima earns his second place, and so does Westover for third in a nice looking finish there. Riders will make their way off. Everybody's finished on this lap. Exit on the back straight, please. All riders finishing up on this lap. Great effort for the Cat 4 men, and a good showing for some of our juniors here, competing all the way to the end. A good final sprint there too. Getting experience at every step of the way. All right, looks like we are into the clear. Cat 3s to the rail. I see a familiar name out there on the YouTubes. Vern's checking in from far away and saying, good racing tonight. Good to see you, Vern. Thanks for checking in. I'm sure he'll be out to join us here soon. We got a community of avid racers, local fans, and even family members from across the country that tune in regularly to support our riders. If you're enjoying the action from the comfort of your home couch, don't forget to say thank you by hitting the thumbs up on the video and hit the subscribe button if you already haven't done so. And another quick step you can do is don't forget to share the channel with friends and family. Let them know that we've got something good going on here. Spread the word about the great things going on in the Pacific Northwest racing scene. Our Velodrome here in Redmond's pretty special, so we like to toot our horn and get the word out. Thanks for your support. ...15-lap scratch race in the neutral. Starting out turn 4 if it's all together. Same rules apply. It's just the simplest, the most classic of races. Get to that finish line first. We get to watch the whole thing unfold from where we are, either at home or around the track. And at the end of it all, the bell at 1 to go, and we'll see who our winner is on the final lap. On deck, Cat 1-2 men for their scratch race. And the whistle was sounded, so racing is underway. 15 to go. And almost everybody sitting above the blue line, signaling that we're getting a bit warmed up still. No rush out the gates here. Will Fowler looks like he'll generally follow commands and get down to that sprinter's lane at a comfortable pace. Not trying to pull things apart at all. Just bringing us up to some good speed here in the early goings of this competition. 12 to go. Our field happily on the wheels of whoever takes the lead position on the given lap as they'll take their turns. It's Merrick Gallagher for the junior team of the Jerry Baker type at the front with that red helmet. Z-Dog right on his wheel, and the rest of the riders following suit and staying close. A couple lanes wide as this field is still flying at about 65% speed. Nowhere near their efforts yet. $11 to go, waiting and holding on to see who might want to make the first move. That's Peter Snoblin, 347. It's kind of looking over the shoulder and waiting for something to happen as well. Bit of a punch here at about 1/3 of the race complete. We'll see our first real acceleration from the front to try to stretch things out a bit. $10 to go. Luke Wilson at the front. Alex Ackel takes the front now. Carson Hedrick next up in the grouping. So some of the names we heard make their way into the Kirin final, also trying to be active here in the scratch. At least enough so to be able to cover the front of the field and keep it quick enough maybe to put the hurt on the back end. As this has been a pretty good pace now for a couple laps in a row. The back end is going to start feeling this. Maybe hoping to thin out the competition. Things start to slow down just a bit more here at 9 to go. Snoblin takes the lead and is trying to play maintenance on the tempo. Bunching up at the back, you can see a little bit of jockeying for position on the very tail end as the riders respond to the change in speed at the front of the group. You'd think the lack of brakes would make this thing really scary out there, but what it forces riders to be is predictable. And you'd be surprised when you make riders predictable just how much more safe this racing can be. So riders, as those adjustments happen, it happens very naturally. You'll see the fields reposition and move around in very manageable ways. So despite all that change in speed, looking good out here tonight for a first night of racing. Glad to see big fields, glad to see good competition, and some really great things coming out from riders so early on in 2023. Early on this one, we are showing our early season form, though. Not a lot of riders want to take too many risks off the front. It's more interesting right now is to get kind of back into the race shape, be in the group, feel the sort of the momentum and the inertia being in the group, kind of play this one out for a few laps, and then maybe go for the big finish at the end. Douglas, 391. Stanley's making a move. Next closest rider behind him, James Campbell Harris, decides not to play the job of chasing him down, so he'll reposition back a little bit and see if anybody else wants to go get Stanley off the front. They just saw 6 to go, so we're closing in on the kind of the final third of the race. And the scratch is really all about setting up the finish, of course. Unless some of the riders in the next couple laps, there's some riders I saw earlier tonight and kind of thought, you know what, this could still be their night for an early attack. Just got the next couple laps as kind of that window of opportunity for breakaway efforts or just kind of longer attacks. So definitely time to be watching and paying attention to change in speed. If there's ever a slowdown, keep your eyes peeled. That is also a great opportunity for things to get kind of interesting. Under the Stanley sign, they'll reposition themselves pretty wide. As the front pulls way up, the back end comes into the sprinter's lane under the power of Will Fowler, who's trying to change things up here. So a big change in the positioning of most of the riders. Kind of a flip-flop of the back half to the front half. Now sitting at 4 to go, trying to take advantage of the slow speed from the front half. And that's a good move if you want to be near the front and be watching these attacks. You're going to have to continue to work to stay at the front, though, as riders are going to want to take that position back away from you. If you're not going to fight for it, you're going to fall back into the middle of this big crew. Three to go, getting good here, still all bunched up. Who's going to make the next move? 368 is Justin Captis at the front on the blue line. Got kind of the wedge out behind him towards the sprinter's lane, and kind of in both directions as all riders are kind of fanned out behind him. Justin's just doing the pull right now, not at top speed, certainly not spending a huge amount of effort here, not burning every candle that he brought tonight, but not really a lot of reason to save many after this. This is their last competition of the night, so you might as well go all out here. And with 2 to go, it's still Captis essentially at the front, the sprinter's lane right along his side here. That's Luke Wilson. Down in the sprinter's lane, you've got Hedrick, number 304 in the black, flanking him on the right. And plenty of room for riders at the blue line to position up over the top if they want to take a run at it at some point. Wilson moves up to the front right alongside Captis. Here comes that move from the top lane as I was talking about. They had the lane in the opening. I think that's Ritter making the dive into the sprinter's lane. Mike Ritter wants to make the big attack nice and early. He'll put the move out at about 500 meters to go. The bell's ringing now for Ritter and the rest of the field. 1 to go! 1 to go! Ritter on the attack. Nice acceleration back about 300 meters ago. Let's see if he can hold on to it. That's a long sprint. But Ritter's got a good turn of speed. This is where it's going to really get hard. He's going to have to keep pedaling deep here to hold on to the lead because here comes the second move from the field. They're going to try to make a run out of now as we come to turn 3. Good acceleration from the front. It's going to be Wilson again making a good move at it. Oh, Ritter still has a good position. Does he have it? Does he have it? He's going to try to hold on. Here comes Wilson running at the wheel. Wilson down the blue line and 301 almost coming in for the finish. It's Andrew Lynch of the Gene Johnson cycling team nearly getting to the line ahead of Luke Wilson, but it will be the rider in green for the big finish. Your rider from Gene Johnson comes across the line second, and I still think our early attack for Ritter pays off. It's still a top 3, so got to be happy with that. A great finish in the Cat 3's scratch. Exciting stuff. I'm enjoying myself. I hope you are too. We've got our Cat 1-2 men about ready to come up. Just making sure we're all clear on the track, and looks like we are. Cat 1-2s, come on down to the rail, and our last group is on deck. Our open women field for their scratch race. Nolan, you can start going real fast right now if you want to. Not sure you'll make a lot of friends that way. It is indeed the Cat 1-2s for their final race of the night. It is a scratch race, a 20-lapper on the cards. And once again, the race is a straight Ford affair. Over 20 competitors here tonight, though, so lots of ways we could see this one play out. And we've already seen what kind of finishing speed we get from some really fast riders early in our season. John Bowie has been cleaning house here tonight in this group. We'll see if he can find another victory in this scratch race, or can somebody else spoil the fun and maybe get in a win here in just a moment on this group. We'll see. 20-lap scratch race, just long enough to maybe give some different riders a good look at it. And there's the whistle. Racing is underway. 20 to go for the Cat 1-2 men in their last race of the night. It is a scratch race. Nick Martinez, 122 at the lead for just a moment. And as we saw from the last crew, and won't be surprised to see here, fairly moderate early laps. Getting in the field, kind of feeling things out, that nice feeling of momentum you get when you're riding with a big group. But I also expect a few of these riders will take their attacks in the interim laps. So keep our eyes open for those opportunities to kind of find their way into this one. As Danielson now driving the pace and picking it up a little bit from the previous lap, we see an increase in tempo and a bit of a stretch in the field. Tomko in the blue tries to maintain that speed and hold on to a pretty consistent effort. Nothing crazy again here, as most of the riders look to be interested in just getting some laps under their belts. Great tempo here now as we find ourselves a few laps into this one, seeing 14 to go, and a big effort from some riders to stretch this thing out. Nice, good speed. Not into that attack territory yet, as it's really just driving pace and trying to put some effort on some of the other riders, maybe burn out their energies for later efforts. Chris Wilson pulls off the front as he's done his part to keep it quick. Still on single file formation, not to the halfway point yet, still in the early goings really for a 20-lap event. Riders still kind of getting themselves up into it, but you can see now the pace really has adjusted. And for the first few opening laps, we're quite tepid compared to this. 122, that's Martinez again, makes his way to the front. And there's the name I was calling out earlier to watch out for. That's 124 Bowie that kind of creeps his way up to the very front. Keep his eyes on him for his efforts later in this race, as we saw what he was capable of in the Kirin with top speed. If this is a group sprint or even a sprint out of a breakaway group, if he's in position, he's clearly a favorite to watch tonight just based on what he's shown so far. He'll pull back a little bit into the group at 12 to go. Grinsel makes a bit of a run at it now as he finds open track down the back straight. For Dyna Racing, it's trying to shake things up a bit. A couple bike lengths of gap here opened up for Grinsel as he hits the corner and rounds out onto the home straight. $11 to go. Grinsel gets caught. Looks like Matty Hers, the first rider to get there, number 104, now wearing that blue jersey with the white helmet, the coefficient of speed team, on the back straight. He'll pull up as he hits corner 3, not wanting to do any more pulling than that. Brings back the leader and says, yep, that's good enough for me. And the rest of the field ready for what looks to be another break as well. Good opportunity here maybe for somebody else to try to put on some pain on the field, but nobody wants to do too much work yet. At 10 to go, we're wide across the track as the halfway point in the 20-lap scratch. Grinsel down in the sprinter's lane. Sandoval sitting up above the blue line, waiting for someone else to take the lead. But dangling off the front here from some riders, and here comes the response I think Bowie's ready to try to move this thing along again. It is indeed Bowie, number 124, at 9 to go, launching his attack, and you've got to watch this. Called him a favorite for a reason. Not only does he have good top speed, but clearly he's got good base here. He's got plenty of endurance to run at this group too, so he's just taking a solo effort. If nothing else, just to show some dominance tonight, get some good workout here on his first outing of the season. Maybe not finding the pace of the field appropriate at the moment. He's going to go for it. 8 to go. Grinsel making the effort to chase right now. It's going to let Blem Flom, the rider in the orange and the blue, comes up next. He'll abandon quickly. Danielson will as well. Nobody wants to do a lot of work to chase right now. Maybe Andy Baker out of the group will. There goes Chip Chase coming up and out of the saddle, trying to do the work to bring this leader back. They still got about a 100-meter gap to try to bring back, so gonna need to start working it. They got plenty of laps. They don't have to do it immediately, so they can try to time this out and pace it well. Work their way back towards that leader. Bowie's in a good position, though, as he continues to open things up nicely. What a good solo effort for him. Plenty of pride in this field, though. They don't want to let him ride away tonight. Not on opening night. Let's keep this thing close. You can see that arch in the back is a really nice digging effort from Gene Johnson Cycling, trying to keep this thing close enough that lead of 4 is starting to turn into a bit of a breakaway almost, or at least they're breaking off a group of the field as we're starting to see a bit of a snap at the back. 6 to go. That was a lot of distance closed down by the speedster Frigo of Gene Johnson Cycling, number 121. That's enough to say to Bowie, I'm done for now. Sending a message. You're not getting away from me. Cat 3 and Cat 4 men, the Omnium winners. Top 3 in the Omnium, come on over for podiums, please. Cat 4 and Cat 3s. Another move here down the back straight. This time not getting quite as much leeway as we saw before for Bowie, who was able to get off the front. So the field responding quickly, and so this effort will fizzle out before it's allowed to turn anything else. Ben Flom at 4 to go, rides the blue line. Frigo, Danielson, Bowie on his wheel in a nice single file formation in front of the grouping. A lot of the names we've called a lot of tonight that want to stay at the front. They're watching for the attacks. They know that we're within striking distance. They've just got about a mile to go. And that's not a lot of distance at this speed. So they do not want to be left out of any sort of attacks from the front or any sort of shenanigans. Now the group really starting to bunch themselves up behind Flom, who's riding well above the blue line. The sprinters lane, kind of the other group down low. And everybody looking left and right and saying, who's going to do what next? Bit of hesitation. 3 to go, holding their breath, waiting for the move. As all are we. We are waiting for someone to make the dive. Nelson's got a nice lane to his left, but he's still waiting for something to happen underneath him. Grinsel's holding on to the lead spot, and now we'll get a little bit of response, just a bit of a move out of the field. Not a big attack, just enough to pick the pace back up again. Coming into the finish of this one, we're going to be seeing 2 to go here in just a moment as the field rounds the corner. Coming into the finish, 2 to go. Next time is the bell lap. That's 120. Jeff Reed for Drop Bar that took the lead of the lap and tried to restart things up. He wasn't happy with that slow tempo. He pulls off the front, having done some work to bring things back up to speed. On the back straight, it looks to be Martinez rocking the pedals down the back straight and trying to lead the field here. No attack still. It's still just kind of maintenance work from the front. Nobody's trying to go all out just yet. They're going to wait for the sound of the bell as it kind of bunches up. Now behind, it looks like Christian Miller might find the front. And there goes Baker. He liked the wheel, liked the spot, but he wants to get out and away before anything else comes up and catches up to his wheel. So now it's going to be Baker versus the rest of this field. Here comes Bowie making the move. Sam Frigo, I think, found the wheel and is really happy with that position, so he found the wheel he wanted to be on. Here comes Baker trying to hold on, but here comes Bowie, no questions asked. He'll take the front. Here comes Frigo, who found the wheel. He wants to try to challenge the line. He's been working at it all night long, but Bowie will not be challenged tonight. No question, a great showing overall in a dominant fashion tonight for Bowie. A good showing for many riders here tonight. Most importantly, just fun and fast for our Cat 1-2 men. As they'll all finish up on this lap and exit on the back straight. All right, open women field 2, the rail please. Our open women competitors to the rail for the scratch. Our final race of the night. Thanks for sticking through with us. This has been so much fun. We've got one more great race to go. And as we go into the evening hour here at the track, the sun setting and such a beautiful night for us to start off our season. Looks to be a pretty good one next week. I don't want to jinx anything, but weather looking pretty good here for our May so far. So hopefully we'll see more great racing and more of you back again for the fun next Friday. And we look forward to a great finish here to our first night of racing in 2023, our preseason. And excited to be back. Happy to be up here on the microphone again doing this work. I'm joined by some youth helping me behind the scenes in the live stream. Great to have a team of 3 really working it. It's been fun to see our newest member rocking around with the camera. Hopefully, again, next week, some of our riders will be okay getting the GoPros going again in some of our fields. We'll be talking to, if you have one, don't forget to mention it to us. We'll try to hook you up, and we'll have a little bit better computer, hopefully, for it this year. It'll hopefully all work out. So looking forward to that. This 15-lap scratch is about ready to start turn 4. Looks like our riders are together coming out of the neutral. And the sound of the whistle is indeed the beginning of the racing action, and 15 laps to go.
What's up? What's going on? Simple truth, I'm low. Let's get it on. Touching the stars, touching the stars. Dancing, 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 feel like dancing in the moonlight.
13 to go, a couple laps in. Working collaboratively here in the early goings, much like the rest of our fields. Work down the lap cards and get a little closer to that finish line before we go too crazy. Number 1 at the front, Scoville pulls out the way for Doherty, who racing for the Breakfast Racing Club, racing team, excuse me, the front of the group. Same time, same place next week, 7 p.m. Preseason continues. No season points. We're just getting warmed up for the real thing. Friday night racing here at the Velodrome in the big backyard of King County Parks. Marymore Park, of course, our host and great partner for so many years. Come into the park and enjoy a nice evening. Check out the racing again. We'll have more similar action 1 week from today. A couple weeks out from today, I want to remind everybody again that registration for riders for the kickoff is open May 26th and May 27th. Friday night is a regular session, but with a Madison and some other great stuff going on. Plus, we've got a morning session on Saturday for time trials. You can sign up for just one or a couple, whatever you want to do. That's a donation-based registration, so pay as much as you'd like for that time. And then Saturday evening is another race session starting at 6 p.m. We're going to do sort of another Friday night, but on Saturday to kind of celebrate the start of the regular season. Hopefully you can join us for one or both nights. That's May 26th and 27th. Beverage garden and food trucks will be here for those events, the evening events as well. So great fun for the friends and family to come out and enjoy us. If you've been looking for a reason to come out to the track for the first time, maybe you tuned in the Velodrome YouTube channel, been watching us here or there and been kind of curious about it, or you've been away from the track for a while and just want to come out and enjoy some racing. That date on the 26th is a great one to join us in person, have a great time here, have a great party with all the riders and all the fans as we get ready for some more great racing in 2023. At 9 to go, much like the other fields, again, the first half is a little bit more cooperative. Riders taking their turns at the front and still working our way down as they saw. Again, that was 9 to go as they cross the line.
Under my wings, I can feel the air pulling me up as I leave there.
7 to go. Fields spread themselves out a bit, left and right, waiting for another move. And we'll get one. Another one of our juniors making the move here. Five to go. Kelly Darlene at the lead. Pulls up for Danny Scoville. Number 1, there's Annette Williams, number 11 on her wheel, on the orange bike of Charlotte Westover. Getting near the front for her turn. Four to go, and that pulls around the group. There's Charlotte coming to the front now. Daughtry making a nice move here, number 204. Opens up a big sprint at 3 to go. Trying to see what she can make of it here. Closing in on the end of it. Bit of an upstart move, seeing what might happen. The field responds quickly. Daughtry abandons and moves to the blue line and allows the field to come underneath her. Bell's ringing, 1 to go. It's 1 to go. Number 9 leading things out is Darlene on this final lap, getting into a nice position at the front of the group, but plenty of riders right behind her, ready to go on the attack. It looks like it's going to be Annette Williams trying to hold Scoville down. Scoville finds a way and fights a way into the middle. Ooh, Annette says, no, you don't. You're going to have to go around, pulling the vet move and squishing her into that thing, that nice pinch move into the box. She makes her way out and around the outside and still has enough speed for the second attack. Good move from Annette. A good response from Scoville. Enough speed to handle the veterans' control on the back straight. Nicely done. And a fun race to watch all night long for everybody. And again, our thanks to our athletes, most importantly, for making their way out to make tonight happen. Our thanks to our officials team, our volunteers, our fans for making their way out here. And if you enjoyed your time, don't forget we're here again next week, same place, same time. We'd love to have you back. If you're out there watching on the stream still, thanks for sticking with us and enjoying tonight's broadcast on YouTube. If you had some fun, leave that thumbs up and that subscribe. That really helps us out. We've already had a few more subs this evening. We'd love to get more, and we'd love to have you back for some more racing action next week. Friday Night Racing next week, 7 o'clock, right here, same place, same time. More great preseason racing. Register online at velodrome.org, riders, for that and the kickoff. Already live and ready to go. We'd love to get you on those start lists and get you sorted. Thanks again to the full team. Thanks for you out there that have been enjoying the racing. And we look forward to hosting you again for more great racing action here at the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome.